The season's over. The game relatively meaningless, except for the fact it was a vicious Kentucky comeback. It was a microcosm for Kentucky. A lot of turnovers fueled Notre Dame uncontested three-point shots. There was some classic moments where your boy there with the worst haircut in sports history next to Dwayne Shinsis and the wild thing. Look at that shot. Dugan Ryan says, I shoot like that from like the side. But there were some nice sequences between him and Patterson. Meeks obviously went from 3 to 14 in like a blink of an eye. And the whole game, the microcosm of the turnovers of the season, the microcosm of the comeback, the near miss, the microcosm of getting not out-rebounded, scrapped on the boards by a much smaller team. Also, though, the Perry Stevenson drop, and he walked a couple times. The Perry Stevenson, when Michael Porter passed it to him, he didn't know it was coming. Man, that is what I think about when I think about 2008, 2009 Kentucky basketball. Michael Porter on the court, throwing it to a guy who last year, remember tonight he took a 17-footer from the free throw line, and was he scratching his goatee at one point in time, but when they threw the ball to him, I just don't know why Perry Stevenson didn't develop. Point 2 on the BJ starting 5 as we roll on. And all of these lead into your phone calls for 7 straight segments at 267-2422. I've never felt as confident about a pick in recent memory than I do about this one. I just absolutely love the Louisville Cardinals against Arizona. Arizona's biggest weakness is defending the 3. They're one of the worst three-point defending teams in the country. Now, they've gotten lucky. Cleveland State went 3 for 23, and Utah shot 8 for 32, but that's not because of their inability to guard the 3. Wait till you see how open. I know that people say that Sosa is the only corner shooter on the team and that Jerry doesn't like to go to the corner and Knowles can hit from the corner a little bit, but it's that Sosa left-hand corner, but that's where it's open. Also, their big 3, especially big 2, as far as the big guys, are scared to play defense. They can't get in foul trouble, so they play soft. Budinger and Jordan Hill, 5 pick overall in the NBA draft. Budinger, mid-range first round. Nick Wise being talked about as a first-round pick. It's going to be really interesting to see if Wise can over-penetrate in that zone and dish to Hill and Jamel Horn or pump out to Kyle Fogg and Zane Johnson. I don't think it'll happen. They only play 5 players, and Louisville is a 3-point shooting team, and you go right at Hill, get 2 fouls. Dude, there's one big white boy that can barely come off the bench for Arizona. It's going to be a blowout. Louisville will blow out Arizona. That's all I have to say. Can we roll on? Thank you. On the BJ starting 5. Some dude from ESPN wrote this article on how to beat Louisville, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Number 1, handle the pressure. It's pretty obvious, Louisville's famous press, leading to so many easy points and runs, stopping runs, starting runs. The second point on how to beat Louisville is make the Cardinals defend you in the half court. So they go hand in hand. Beat the pressure, and then play a half court offensive set with a plan against the zone. Which is what Sam did. 1, beat the pressure. 2, have a plan against the amoeba-like man-to-man, 2-3, 1-3-1, changing all zone. Number 3, limit their offensive rebounds. Patino's made up. And I agree with what this guy said. Patino has definitely made a huge emphasis on offensive rebounds this year, and Earl Clark will kill you there, as will Samardo Samuels, or second chance points. You can't give Louisville second chances. If they're going to be cold, you have to rebound. Limit dribble penetration to the elbow in the paint. I don't think this is what the ESPN guys said. I don't think Louisville has a penetrating guard. He mentioned if Sosa and Terrence Williams drive to the hole that, people could be in trouble. I agree. And I don't know why Terrence Williams and Edgar Sosa don't drive to the hole more, but what they need to worry about is Earl Clark's penetration right around the elbow area in the top of the key, right into the paint. Shutting down Terrence Williams is number 5 on his list. That's just obvious. And then staying fresh. So where does that kills Arizona on staying fresh? They play 4 people. They can handle the pressure probably with Nick Wise, and Budinger is a good ball handler for his size. They can't play half-court defense against Louisville, and they can run a half-court offense against Louisville. They could probably limit their offensive rebounds. I love the blood in the game. Your thoughts on which one of those are the most important? Sweet 16, big, fat, here it is real quick. Xavier Pitt, tough against tough. Pitt's strength, their big 3. They can score from anywhere. Sam Young, DeJuan Bland, Levance Fields, Dixon, and Wanamaker hitting the 3s. Xavier, They're 9-man rotation. They're just as balanced offensively as they are defensively. They got their own big three in B.J. Raymond, Derek Brown, and C.J. Anderson. They got clutch three-point shooters. Pitt's weakness, common thread, all 4 games, no Juwan Blair. Xavier's weakness, they're guards. They can't handle pressure, and they turn the ball over. Duke and Nova, it's guards versus guards, run versus run, three-pointers versus three-pointers. They move Shire to the point guard. Obviously, Elliott Williams is now in there starting. They've hit 47% of the threes in their first 2 games. Nova, they do nothing bad, and they have Dante Cunningham down low. They have an inside-outside game. Sometimes Scotty Reynolds gets a little bit too lethargic. I want your picks on the 4 games tomorrow. In those 2 games, I love Nova. And I tell you, I think Xavier Pitt is a 50-50 toss-up, edge to Pitt. Mizzou and Memphis, both teams run, pedal to the middle. Mizzou's guards, I don't think are strong enough to handle Memphis's defense, and as well, even though Missouri goes 10 deep. You know, Memphis doesn't have a starter smaller than 6'5". It's absolutely insane. And Tyreek Evans right now is he and Anderson can both take anyone off the dribble. Dozier and Taggart kill you inside. I don't like Memphis. I don't like Calipari. But they don't have any weaknesses right now. The other one I can find in research where their free throw percentage, not like last year or the year before, but it's not good. And sometimes they don't hit their jumpers. So we'll bust out of here and go to the break. Purdue and UConn going to be much closer than you think. Your bracket racket is next. Purdue and UConn. I love the game. Purdue 10th nationally in field goal defense. 11th in the country in scoring defense. 2nd in the Big Ten in turnover margin. 3rd in steals and blocks. 9 different players have scored in double figures for Purdue. Connecticut has no one. Kemba Walker hasn't hit a 3-point shot since January. And that is a legitimate stat. Let the phone calls and the madness begin. Catch all.